Have you ever felt like the ground beneath your feet no longer exists? As if the very sense of direction you once trusted has faded into silence? That moment, when the noise of the world dies down, and you're left alone with your thoughts, is not a mistake. It's the invitation to begin again. Most people fear getting lost. But what if being lost is not a failure, but a sacred turning point? A signal that something deep within you is asking to be found, not out there, but within. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of this darkness, not broken, but rebuilt. This isn't the end of the road. It's the moment your real path reveals itself. When you feel like you're drifting through the shadows of your own mind, uncertain and overwhelmed. Remember this, being lost is not a failure, it is an awakening. It is life's quiet rebellion against false comfort, demanding that you see clearly again. In those moments of confusion and despair, when you question everything, know that you are not broken. You are simply in the process of breaking free. We live in a world obsessed with clarity and convenience. Every advertisement, every voice around you says, follow this path, buy this thing, believe this idea. But if you've ever followed all the rules and still felt empty inside, it's because ease alone doesn't satisfy the soul. Deep down, you understand this. There's a whisper within you that craves more than just comfort, it longs for purpose. And sometimes, the only way to find it is to get lost. This darkness you're sitting in, it's not punishment. It's preparation. It strips away illusions. It removes the noise. It demands honesty. You don't get to numb your way through this. You must sit in the discomfort. You must listen to what your heart is really asking. It's in these quiet, painful hours that your deepest clarity begins to form, not because the world changes, but because you do. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's not just poetic philosophy. It's a battle-tested truth. The very pain that brings you to your knees today, the anxiety, the fear, the loss, is the fire that forges your path forward. You don't have to run from it. You have to walk through it. Eyes open, heart steady. This is where the journey truly begins, not at your highest moment, but at your lowest. Not when everything is going well, but when nothing makes sense. Because it is here, in this chaotic middle, that you decide, will I collapse? Or will I rise? And if you choose to rise, not with haste but with intention, not with noise but with quiet strength, you will discover something no easy path could ever give you, inner power. Epictetus, born into slavery yet rising into philosophical greatness, once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them." Take a moment and reflect, how much of your pain comes not from your circumstances, but from the meanings you've assigned to them? You don't suffer because you're lost. You suffer because you believe being lost means you're failing. But what if you changed the story? What if you saw your confusion not as weakness, but as wisdom waiting to unfold? The Stoics remind us that we cannot always control what happens around us, but we can always govern how we respond within. This is not denial. It's radical responsibility. Imagine your pain as a flame. It scorches. Yes. It tests you. Yes. But it also purifies. In the forge of adversity, the false parts of you, the ego, the fear, the excuses, are burned away. What remains is your essence, the real you. And that version of you is forged, not found, built, not given. Seneca warned us of the weight we carry when we try to suffer twice, once in the moment, and again in our imagination. He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. How often do we torment ourselves with futures that haven't arrived, with regrets that no longer serve us? The past is a story already told. The future is unwritten. Your power lies in this moment alone. So breathe deeply. Ground yourself not in the chaos, but in the calm strength within you. You are not the storm, you are the mountain that endures it. And this clarity, this anchored presence, this fierce stillness you cultivate, this is what Stoicism calls mastery. You may be disoriented right now. But make no mistake, this is not your ending. This is your threshold. And thresholds are sacred. They mark the place where you stop living the life others expect and start living the one that calls to your soul. But that calling demands a response. Not a wish. Not a vague intention. But decisive action. Stop waiting for permission. Stop blaming fate, people, or your past. True power begins the moment you accept full accountability for where you are. That is not weakness, it is liberation. Because when you own your condition, you gain the power to transform it. This is where discipline enters. Discipline is not a cage, it's a chisel. It carves away the excess. It sculpts your character. And it is in the smallest, quietest acts, rising early, making your bed, training your body, keeping your word, that greatness is born. You do not need to be loud. You do not need to be perfect. You need only to be consistent. Every day, do one thing that challenges you. Face one fear. Push through one excuse. These are your bricks. Stack them with intention. Layer them with effort. Build your foundation in silence. Because someday, the world will see the fortress you've created. And they'll call it strength. But you'll know the truth, that strength was forged in solitude. In darkness. In doubt. Declare who you are becoming. Speak it aloud if you must. I am becoming resilient. I am becoming grounded. I am becoming unstoppable. These are not empty affirmations. They are vows. They are the seeds of identity, watered by action. Remember, you are not your confusion. You are not your past missteps. You are not defined by the noise around you. You are the architect of what comes next. And with every disciplined act, every conscious decision, you step closer to the person you were always meant to be. This is your rebirth. Quiet, relentless, unshakable. Now hear this. Loud and clear, you were never truly lost. You were being shaped, sharpened, refined. Everything you've walked through, the doubt, the fear, the silent nights of questioning, was not meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. The storm was never your enemy. It was your trainer. This moment, right now, is not the aftermath of your fall. It's the ignition of your eyes. So rise, not timidly, but with fire in your spirit. Rise with eyes open and fists unclenched. Rise not because the world told you to, but because your soul demands it. You've sat in the dark long enough. You've stared into the void. And now, it's time to move. Let the discipline you've cultivated become your armor. Let your actions become louder than your doubts. Let your focus be unwavering. Your mission unshakable. The Stoics never promised an easy path. But they promised that the path, once walked with virtue and strength, leads to freedom. So embrace uncertainty like an old friend. Welcome discomfort like a trusted teacher. Stand in the center of your chaos and say, this is where I forge myself anew. And then take the first step, not when you're ready, but because the warrior within you can wait no longer. The world does not need more noise. It needs more silent strength. It needs more individuals who have walked through the fire and come out steady, grounded, and clear. Let that be you. This is your path. Not someday. Not soon. But now. Get up. Begin. and never stop becoming. If these words stirred something within you, a part of you that's been quiet for too long, a voice you may have forgotten, don't let it pass like a fleeting moment. Stay together. We're building a space of awareness, quiet strength, and meaningful action. Subscribing isn't about following me, it's about walking alongside yourself, on the path back to the strongest version of who you are. This journey was never meant to be walked alone.